Hey everyone, it's Ashlar here with another tutorial for you. Today's is going to be on Camtasia Studio, which is the software that I'm using to produce all my videos, including the one that you're watching right now. I wanted to explain something that I had to learn by trial and error when I first started using this program. If you've tried to produce videos with Camtasia Studio and then eventually upload them to YouTube, you may have noticed that the exported video that you get isn't always as high of a quality as the CamRec file that you get when you first record your screen capture. Or you'll also notice that there might be a border around the video and that the video doesn't fill the entire screen. So I just want to show you the quickest and easiest way to ensure that your video fills the screen, that it is in fact 1080p and will register as an HD video on YouTube, and that the actual quality of the visual will be as high quality as that original file that you recorded. So in order to do this, you need to first have a screen recording, a CamRec file loaded in. Actually, it can be any file. It doesn't have to be CamRec, but anything that you're going to produce and export. So I've loaded in the CamRec file from the last tutorial I did and dragged it onto the timeline. Now, for some reason, when I first did this by default, it put the video in this big bordered black box here. So the first thing you have to do is actually drag the video out to make sure that it meets the edges of the black border. And that takes care of the first issue of making sure that your video fills the entire screen. If you have other media that you're going to import as well, let's say multiple takes or different screenshots, you may have to do this for each of them. I'm not entirely sure because this particular project only had one video in it. But if you have multiple videos, you may have to also make sure that when you put them on your timeline, you drag them out to touch the borders of that black box. So that will make it fill the screen when you export your video. The next thing that you need to do is under Produce and Share, you're going to go to the drop-down menu here, Produce and Share, and in this menu, you're going to go down to Add Edit Preset. I already have one that I made, which is HD 1920 by 1080, which is actually what I'm going to show you how to make. So you're going to click Add Edit Preset, and then over here, just click New. And then you're going to go ahead and name it, and I'll just call this New HD, and you can call it 1080p or anything that makes sense to you to know that this is the one you want to go to in the future when you produce videos. And you'll only have to do this once. Everything we do is going to be saved as a preset in Camtasia Studio so that you won't have to do it again. You'll just have to select this for every video that you produce. So I just titled it there, and then we're going to select MOV, which is the QuickTime format. And out of all these, it just happens to be, to my eye at least, the closest quality to that original CamRec file. So go ahead and select MOV and then click Next. And then before we continue, you're going to want to click QuickTime Options, and we're going to ramp up the settings in here to make the quality as high as we would like it. So first click Settings, and under this I set the frame rate at 30. I believe I recorded at 30, so current would probably be fine, but just to be thorough, we'll make this 30, and then change keyframes to every 30 frames. And over here, we want to drag this slider from high to best. And under encoding, click best quality. So we've got multipass, which means that when you export the file, it's going to take a little longer, but it's going to be a much higher quality. So this should be set at best, and then best quality encoding, and then click OK. And then we're going to go under size. And under size, this is also very important to making sure that your video exports at 1080p. Click this drop-down menu and select 1920 by 1080 HD. I believe you can also select this same one down here, the 16 by 9, but I've been using this one and it's been working just fine for me. And I also click this box, Preserve Aspect Ratio using Letterbox if required. So in the case where my screen recording was actually these dimensions, it doesn't need a letterbox, but if you had some custom screen area recorded, it'll just fill in the letterbox around it for you. So click OK there, and then I uncheck this Prepare for Internet Streaming. Under Sound, we're going to click Settings and ramp up the sound settings as well. I leave it here on this MPEG 4 low complexity, and change the setting from mono to stereo so that your audio will come out left and right if someone's listening on headphones or stereo speakers. And I also up this to 48K. So that's pretty much everything that I believe we need to change. From here, we're just going to click Next, and video size leave as 1920 by 1080, and click Next. And here you have some other options you can set, like if you wanted to add a watermark to your video or add the author and copyright information, which I'm not going to do right now because it's not necessary for the purposes of this tutorial. And then click Finish. And now you'll see under your presets you have this new HD listed. You can click Close here. And now when you want to produce your video in this list, that new HD or whatever you called it on your computer will always be there. And now I have two because I made one for myself earlier. And every time you go to produce a video, I'm going to go to this Produce and Share and go to this drop-down menu, and there it is. Click it, hit Next, and you're going to title your file and click Finish. And then it's going to go ahead and render the project, which we're also not going to do right now since I'm recording the screen for this tutorial. So that's everything for how to produce your video at 1080p using the custom settings on Camtasia Studio. All right, I just clicked that again. So I'm going to hit Cancel. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like the video if you learned something from it, and leave me a comment if you have any questions. And also, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be coming at you with as many tutorials as I can produce. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you all again really soon.